In this series, we're exploring the idea of interest and how to be thinking about interest and really studying and understanding interest at a high level. You just completed, hopefully, the first and second training video. We're going to dive into the third training video here. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take everyone in the whole world and we're going to put them into 3 different groups. And you're going to start seeing why there's a bank on every single corner on the planet. Okay, so ask yourself as we're going through this training video, which group do you belong in, and see how they use interest. So with that, go ahead and buckle up and let's dive in, because this is going to really be an eye-opener. Again, we've been talking about interest. When it comes to interest, there are 4 groups. There are ones that are the ones paying for interest, which make everyone else succeed, and they're moving backwards. There's the ones that receive. There are the ones that, this is part of the series, so make sure if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the series from the beginning. It's just a few videos. The ones that pass interest. And then there's the ones that say, you know what, I don't like debt. I'm not gonna do anything to do with debt. And I don't want interest whatsoever. So what we learned is that obviously this person is moving backwards. This is bad. We talked about this is typically the saver. They're not using as their cash is just sitting there. And you'll find out that this person ends up being this person. Now you could be receiving in like a lender, but you're using your cash. You'll find out that you're moving backwards as well still, if you don't know what you're doing. Some people are very good at this and they are moving forward, but they know they're playing this game here. You'll find out in a second. This person here is the one that's playing the game of spreads, and they're focusing on low risk, stable assets. Very sophisticated investors do this. And then this person ends up being this person. This person is in many ways losing and they don't know it. And this person will never find out until it's too late, when they retire. Again, I'm assuming here we're talking about middle class. We're not talking about very, very affluent people, because at some point you can afford to do this. You can afford to do this once you're at a certain net worth. But while you are building your wealth, let me just draw this. When you're building your wealth, okay, at some point, so this is your wealth. This is called the accumulation phase. You want to move fast enough without taking too much, risk. And at some point you can slow down. So let's just say this is your goal. You can slow down. Okay, this is slowing down by doing some of the other things. But as you're building, when you're building momentum, this here is a momentum phase. You want to be thinking about being this person. What happens though is as you get closer to your goals, and once you achieve your goals and you are beyond this, you could play this or this, okay? But until then, while you're building momentum, this is what you should be thinking about. Now let's look at how the system, and I drew this in the previous videos. This is the wealth equation, or what we call wealth Q. And you have a number of forces, but we're just going to focus on a few here. You have paying side, receiving side. We talked about a few things: interest, inflation, taxes, opportunity cost, etc. Now, all we did in this series is just talk about interest, okay? And the reason I want you guys to start understanding this piece here is looking at these people. Obviously, this person here, I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 1 is on the paying side of interest, on the paying side of inflation. That means these things affect them negatively They're on the paying side of taxes and paying side of opportunity costs. They're not using the money efficiently. Number 2 is on the receiving side of interest. But as we found out in one of the videos, he's on the paying side of inflation. He's on the paying side of taxes. Obviously, everyone's on the paying side of taxes, and he's not using his money efficiently. Person here in the middle, playing the low-risk game of spreads, is actually, number 3 is over here, over here, over here, and obviously over here, but they're going to lower their taxes. And this person is actually, so they might have no debt, and again, they end up putting the money into a bank and receive interest. So they end up being on the receiving side of interest, but they are on the paying side of inflation. They're on the paying side of taxes, and they're not using the money efficiently. So I want you to notice this is how the system affects each one of those people. And this is the financial system. The financial system, you're either on the paying side or on the receiving side. One of the videos we talked about the way transfer of wealth happens, and you hear that term, we're not talking about dollars, we're talking about purchasing power. This side is essentially throwing their purchasing power over to this side. So by not knowing how to utilize money efficiently, by the way, this opportunity cost ends up being the biggest. It's bigger than all of these 3 combined. How you utilize your money. Okay, very, very powerful. So what am I trying to say here? You can only be on one of 2 sides. We just covered interest here, and you saw that you could be on the receiving side of interest, but the whole system can still be working against you in terms of inflation, in terms of opportunity costs, all kinds of stuff like that. So you have to be careful that you learn all these things. This is still part of wealth principles level number 1, but just realize that this is happening to you and to many people without realizing it's not money. No, it's purchasing power. So with that, that's essentially the big picture, the conclusion of the series. One thing I want you to consider watching is the secret formula after this, if you haven't watched it already. And this proves mathematically everything we're talking about, okay? The other thing I want you to consider is the profit fallacy. And this again ties in and starts explaining some of this. All of these things come together nicely, and you start seeing the world differently. So what we have covered in the series is this part here, and just realize that the person who knows how to play the game is this person here, okay? So with that, I will see you in the next training video. So hopefully you enjoy that content. If you want more of that, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. We are big believers in sharing content and training that can change your life. Also, for anyone wanting a copy of the drawing I just did, download the PDF of that right below this video. You'll see a link in the description. Go ahead and download that. In fact, I would highly recommend you read some of the description we have because we always have links to videos in there that might be very appropriate or correspond to the one you just watched. Now, as a company, all we do day in and day out is we help people like you start seeing a transformation in their life. We focus on implementation. So anytime you're ready, we're here for you. Go ahead and click on the link below and let us know when you're ready and we'll get you going, okay? So with that, I'll see you in the next video.